Welcome to TravelDine. Today we have with us Nikita Ramchandani, the bold and beautiful general manager of JW Marriott Mumbai Juhu. Nikita has over 2 decades of experience in hospitality. She has worked with upscale brands like Four Seasons, Marriott International, Hyatt, and ITC. And she brings a wealth of experience to the industry. So, Nikita, welcome to TravelDine, and it's a pleasure having you with us. I just have one question for you, to start off. So, JW Marriott Mumbai is one of people's favorite luxury hotels. The property has completed 20 long years in India. But up until 2020, the men were at the helm of power. But things changed last year when you took charge to become the first woman GM. So, how does it feel to lead such an iconic brand? Can you tell us a bit about your journey so far?
Absolutely. Well, Caroline, firstly, thank you for having me today. It's wonderful to converse with you. And definitely, without a doubt, being part of a hotel like the JW Marriott Mumbai Juhu is nothing short of feeling a great sense of pride. I certainly feel very, very proud to be associated with this hotel. And in terms of my journey, it's something I've always aspired to be, right? A general manager. I'm someone who actually did go to hotel school with the intent of growing and working in the industry. Worked across various roles, starting in operations, moved across, did some time in revenue management, sales, worked with various large hotel companies like Hyatt Hotels, ITC Hotels. I spent a good decade with Four Seasons Hotels, and 5 years ago joined Marriott International at a very pivotal time, which is when Marriott took over Starwood Hotels. So just in terms of the exposure, seeing such a significant acquisition happening in our space has also helped in my learning curve. It's been a very exciting journey. And this hotel today is the cherry on the cake. Just to summarize, I feel very proud being part of the legacy of JW Marriott Juhu. It's been a fantastic 20 years, and we're looking forward to many, many more in the future. Yes.
So, as you mentioned, you have worked for other upscale brands like Four Seasons.
Right.
So, how did you navigate power structures early in your career versus later in your career when you had a more formal leadership role, like how you are the general manager's role today?
Caroline, I was fairly fortunate to have worked in different overseas markets in addition to India, primarily in the United States, in the Middle East, a little short stint in Southeast Asia, and then back in the US in a leadership role, if you may call it that. And I think through my various experiences, right, it was always the norm to have strong women leaders, around me. There was no power struggle per se. But I must mention, in terms of the diversity, it was always skewed more towards the men. But again, I think at a very nascent stage in my career, I was always surrounded by women who held very significant positions. Even as we speak today, my direct supervisor who oversees the West market for Marriott in India is a lady. So I think in that sense, I've been fortunate to be surrounded by very women of a lot of influence in their workspace. So I wouldn't call it power struggle, but a great dynamic, if I may say that. Yeah.
But Nikita, who inspired you to be a leader and why?
So I think it's just been how should I say, it's an organic journey. It's something I, invested in early in my life as an education. It's a job I started in hospitality. And I truly believe hospitality is one of those industries that, passion is absolutely imperatively driven by passion, right? And in terms of leadership, I would say an influence would be my own father, someone has always worked with such a strong work ethic. I was always exposed to someone at a young age who took very good care of people around him. And that's when you see people want to be with you when you take good care of them. And obviously, he was not associated with the industry, but just to have someone who had such a strong work ethic, I think has truly inspired me as the years have passed and I've grown through various roles. To kind of, I would say lead from the front and walk the talk in that sense.
Right. Yeah. So when you began your career many years ago,
yes,
did you imagine that you would have a leadership role in JW Marriott Mumbai Juhu?
On the cost of sounding that I don't have enough humility, I would say absolutely yes. From the time I did hotel school, I remember we always, in those days it was a little more traditional where we used to attend one class where we put our names, with a little placard saying our names, and you were trained that you're a future general manager, and that's how in those days you would have the desk of the general manager. But yes, absolutely yes. I mean, and I say this with complete humility that was the plan. You work towards something, you work hard for it. So I think yes, it's part of the plan.
Wonderful. Benefits of having women in leadership, particularly in an industry like hospitality?
Without a doubt, what diversity brings on the table. I think for all of us to thrive and to grow in our respective spaces, be it professionally or personally, it's very important to have diverse folks around you with, different opinions, and everyone brings something fresh on the table. And I think that's why gender diversity is so important in all industries for that matter. And even hospitality, right? Because we're unique in our own ways. And I just feel that when you have that right gender balance, and especially across more, there are certain departments in hotels that actually attract a lot of women, which probably have more stable working hours. You see a lot more women folks, say, in sales or human resources traditionally. And I think that norm is now gradually also, you see a lot more ladies in the operations space, which again is, I think, again, because of the support system that's available now. Be it in form of, your family or, however else, you can manage your professional life. But yes, certainly.
So Nikita, how do you balance career, personal life and passions? Is there such a thing as balance considering you're in the business of hospitality where you put in long hours?
Right. I don't know how good a job I do of that. But I take no credit because I think it is a support system behind me that allows me to do what I do. And I would give, again, full credit to my family that allows me, to dedicate or to devote the number of hours I do to work. And I also enjoy it immensely, I must say, right? I'm very passionate about the work I do and I enjoy that a lot. But I'm able to do what I do is because I have a very supportive partner, my spouse, my daughter, who's so savvy about how hospitality works now at all of 9 years of age. And of course, from the get-go, when I was very young, I had parents who were very supportive of my career and my career choices.
When I spoke to you last time, Nikita, you told me that, you love watching Netflix and, you're binge watching certain TV series, web series on Netflix.
Yes.
Can you name a few? What are your favorites?
My favorites, I'm very cliched in my choices. So I think, as I mentioned, I'm doing a rerun of The Office. I love watching that. I think it's such light humor and it always brings a smile to your face, right, when you're watching that. And even lately on our OTT platforms, even the Indian OTT scene is bursting at its beams, right? So currently I'm watching Rocket Boys. It's fun to see what's happening in our in our world as well, with all these series going on. But yeah, I find it very relaxing at the end of a work day to catch up on, say, one episode. It just brings a little smile to your face and kind of disengage. So yeah, it's kind of my stress buster, if I may call it that. Yeah.
Nikita, what advice would you give to young women entering this profession, the business of hospitality?
Sure. My advice would be this, right? Any job is going to be, a little tough in the beginning, and ours is more so sometimes because it's got the hours associated with it. When the world is out there having a great time on the weekend, in our case, sometimes we're at the job. But again, it's a job that is the tremendous exposure this industry provides is quite unique in its own way. And I'd like to tell all young ladies out there, the choice is always yours. It's an industry that has so much to give in terms of exposure, in terms of what your learnings can be. We're such a people-centric industry. You get to meet people from all walks of life. You don't just develop professionally. There's also huge personal development. And for sure, it's definitely tougher in terms of the commitment of time it takes off you. Very often there are weekends or special occasions when the rest are out there and you're committed to being at work. But it can be very, very fulfilling and fruitful if that's something you enjoy doing. But my most important message to the ladies out there is the choice is yours. You make your choices and go rule the world.
What do you like the most about working in JW Marriott Mumbai Juhu?
It's a hotel with a soul. You can just stand in our lobby and spend your entire day. It's truly got such a great spirit. Firstly, we're blessed to be in the location we are. It's gorgeous, right? We're in the midst of an urban jungle, but we are definitely an oasis. Just the spectacular architecture of the building, the uninterrupted sea views. It's just a beautiful hotel. But at the end of the day, what makes the hotel are its people, right? And we're very fortunate. We've had 20 glorious years, and we have so many of our associates who joined us all the way back in 2002. There's so many of them still with us today. So I think it's just a sheer passion of what everyone brings to the hotel every day. But definitely it's a hotel that has so much to offer. And even as a community, we were embraced right from the get-go. Mumbai City really took us in and continues to do that. And for that, we are very grateful. But again, it's a beautiful hotel, great people, and very well patronized by the local community. So yeah, it's very, very special. It's a very special hotel.
It's a pleasure having you with us here today, Nikita.